You remember George Osborne, don't you? Yes, he was the chap who was Chancellor of the Exchequer from 2010 to 2015. He was in charge of our economy, despite in his own real life experience, never even having had a paper round. But oh, George knew best in his arrogant way. In fact, what he really knew best is that China, the Chinese Communist Party, this was the great opportunity for the future. They should be welcomed into our telecom system, brought into our nuclear industry, and now we're going to spend years clearing up the mess, realizing now, actually, they're not our friends and they want to spy on us. And then came the referendum. Oh, George was clear, as one of the leaders of the Remain campaign, he was clear we'd lose our houses, we would lose our jobs, each household would be at least £4,500 a year worse off. Funny thing is, after the referendum, he went as Chancellor. But now he has a lot of jobs, oh, many, many jobs, working for some of the biggest globalist, liberal left companies in the world. They pay George a fortune. You see, these people look after their own. After all, Theresa May has been paid over £1 million to attend and speak at events since the referendum. As my friend Donald Trump said, he'd pay not to hear her speak. She's so dull and boring, but they look after their own, and they haven't given up. No, the globalists haven't given up. They still think that we're going to rejoin the European Union. And that's why Osborne, in an interview with LBC, has said it's quite feasible that within 20 years, we'll be back aligned with the EU single market. Effectively, we'll be back as part of the EU. George, let me tell you something, the British people don't want that. It's done, it's history, and it's behind us. But the slight worry is that George Osborne, of course, is still a Conservative, and we have a Conservative Prime Minister elected to get Brexit done, and that meant controlling our borders, yet a foreign court in Strasbourg, an unnamed judge, decides the plane can't go to Rwanda, and we're told there'll be no flights this year, as we pass 50,000 last night, 50,000 people that have crossed the channel by small boat since this began with a trickle back in 2018. And the other thing that worries me is there's a by-election going on in Wakefield, a really, really important red wall seat. Have a look here at who the Conservatives have chosen. Why have they chosen this man, given that he's turned his back on Brexit and is prepared to slag it off? So you begin to wonder, you do begin to wonder, with Osborne, with Johnson not finishing Brexit, not taking control of our borders, with candidates like this being picked from Wakefield, you begin to wonder, what is going on? We already know that Keir Starmer would put us back in the single market. The Lib Dems and the SNP would at least do that as well. So I'm not going to say Brexit's directly under threat, but I think we've got to keep these people up to the mark. I'm worried about the direction the Conservative Party is going in. It's split down the middle, and we've got to make sure we use our voices loud and hard to say any backtracking, any not completing of Brexit, and they will not get our vote next time round. And let's hope we never, ever see George Osborne back in elected politics in Britain.